Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
It's 6:37 in the morning, my time, full-time family. It's the morning after Demetrius Johnson was dethroned, the pound-for-pound #1 fighter on the planet. He lost the rematch to Henry Cejudo in a close split decision, but that was just the co-main event. We had TJ Dillashaw remain the UFC bantamweight champion, knocking out Cody Garbrandt in the first round. What a night. But it's crazy. This was UFC 227, and the results of tonight we're still trying to take in. But with that being said, it's the end of the year. It's the end of 2018. We got some crazy fights coming up, full-time family, and Brock Lesnar versus DC is just one of the potential fights. Now, Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov was just recently announced, as well as Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier. I mean, we got Darren Till versus Tyron Woodley coming up. It's a great time to be an MMA fan. But with that being said, let's get to some news before we continue to break down UFC 227 over the day, and what's going to come for the winners at UFC 227, what's going to come for the losers of UFC 227. We're going to cover all of that in a live stream. And by the way, we got some new cool bells and whistles for the live stream, family. I got it figured out. You guys are going to love the new format. I'm telling you, can't wait to show you guys that today. We've been working, we've been grinding, and we're going to keep it up. So with that being said, let's get to Daniel Cormier. He agreed to rematch Stipe Miocic if Brock Lesnar doesn't make it to the fight. That's a very real possibility. We all know Brock Lesnar is now in the USADA testing pool. Brock Lesnar has 6 months that he has to pass these tests by USADA, and the date that he would come back after the 6 months, he would be eligible in January. Now, there's been some rumors. I haven't seen much on it, but I've heard a couple of rumors that Brock Lesnar was trying to get an early exemption. And, I don't know if it was Paul Heyman or one of his managers. Somebody spoke for Brock Lesnar and said that he wanted a 3-month exemption or he wasn't coming back. So I'll keep you updated as we hear more about those rumors and reports. But either way, I don't think he's going to be able to get an exemption, because when Brock Lesnar came back and fought Mark Hunt at UFC 200, he got an exemption and ended up failing his drug test after the fight. So I don't really see a world where Brock Lesnar gets another exemption to come back and fight. And with that being said, he's going to have to go through 6 months of random testing by USADA, random performance-enhancing drug test. And Brock Lesnar is a guy that if you ask 99% of fans, they'll tell you that they believe Brock Lesnar is on some sort of performance-enhancing drug. He's failed drug tests in the past, so it's not a crazy speculation. And so with that being said, you wonder, how is he going to pass these drug tests, for the next 6 months? And if he isn't able to, who is Daniel Cormier going to fight? And DC's like, hey, if Brock Lesnar can't make it to the fight, I'll rematch Miocic. And I know a lot of fans are going to like to hear that, because a lot of us feel like Stipe Miocic deserves the rematch for the heavyweight title. He was the longest reigning heavyweight defending champion, arguably greatest heavyweight of all time. And the end of the fight was a little controversial. I mean, there was eye pokes going around both ways. Daniel Cormier poked Stipe a couple times in the eye. Stipe poked DC once or twice in the eye. So, I mean, the fight was a little controversial, but some people still feel like Stipe Miocic deserves that rematch, especially over Brock Lesnar, who hasn't even been competing in the UFC. So, with that being said, Daniel Cormier says he doesn't have anything against fighting Stipe. He's only fighting Brock because it's Brock. And if Brock doesn't make it to the fight for any reason, he would certainly fight Stipe again. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, we're waiting on Brock Lesnar to either fail a drug test or remain clean, and maybe DC will come back and defend his light heavyweight title in the meantime, in between time, against Corey Anderson or most likely Ilir Latifi, which he also said he was open to. So good to hear from the champ, the double champ DC. He's willing to defend either title in the meantime while we're waiting on the Brock Lesnar fight. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated. With that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. And before we go, Shout out to all the full-time MMA white belts that have hit the subscribe button. Make sure you also hit the bell right next to it so you get notified every time I upload a new video, or some of the time that I upload a new video, because YouTube's notification bell is a player hater. But this is one of the hardest working independent MMA channels on YouTube. We provide daily updates, full fight card breakdowns and predictions. We make MMA fighter freestyles, and we've already interviewed pro fighters Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley, Felony Charles Bennett, and Bruce Luchmedio in just a little over a year as an MMA channel. We're one of the fastest growing MMA channels on YouTube. So with that being said, if you're interested in more videos like this, check out the Full-Time MMA Dojo over at patreon.com. One of the things you can see while you're over there are some of the goals of the channel, and also more free videos like this, betting advice, and more. We just launched the Full-Time MMA store over on teespring.com, and we've got some limited edition gear in order to celebrate that. We've got some Day One Foop the Other Side shirts that are only available for a limited time. Also, you got leggings, phone cases, Don't Be a Bagel Biter coffee mugs, and more. With that being said, you can check the links out in the description if you want to check out the Full-Time MMA Dojo or the Full-Time MMA store on Teespring. I apologize about the long outro, but a closed mouth don't get fed, and if I don't plug myself, who will? So respect, let the Full-Time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOG.